I want you to pretend for a moment that you're rock climbing. Step by step, each grip of the hand, you're getting higher and higher. And then suddenly, you slip and fall. You landed relatively safely, but you hit your head real bad, and you don't remember anything. You don't know who you are, what you are, where you are. You arise, you wander, and you find people who seem to know who you are, and you ask them, what am I? Who am I? You're going to get a lot of answers, and most of them are true. But there is one answer you probably wouldn't get, but it is very true, and you are a person. What I want to talk to you about today is this idea of personhood, and it really boils down to really three aspects, and that is historical personhood, the personal personhood, social personhood. And at the very end, I think I'll show just how dynamic this idea really is. But first, the historical person. The root word person is persona, and that is Latin, and it dates back to ancient Rome. And the idea is persona was the mask an actor or actress wore on stage. It was the idea of putting on a character, be bestowing something on them. And this is eventually codified into Roman legal system to depict a legal person, which depicted this idea of a legal person who had obligations and duties, but also rights that they couldn't infringe upon. And this lasted for centuries, well into the 18th century, that the philosopher Immanuel Kant would take this idea and create his entire ethical system really based on it. And this brings us to the second, which is the personal personhood. So the first one is historical, now we're on the personal personhood. Immanuel Kant took it and created this ethical system on the I perspective. It was the notion that we're all persons, we all have the ability to put our own perspective on experience. And this is what separates us truly from other animals and species as humans, is we're able to say I. It's a self-conscious aspect of it. The author Roger Scruton, in his book on Kant, said this, and it's put it very well. An action that originates in me can be attributed only to me, is therefore in a real sense mine. In respect of such an action, I am free. I act freely whenever I act, and unfreely when some other agency acts through me. So, the personal personhood really was predicated on the idea that you have an I perspective, and you need to be treated as an end, not a means. But that is not just something that's supposed to be afforded only to you. This brings us to the social aspect of personhood. The I perspective in personhood should be treated to everyone, and you have an obligation to treat it to other people as well. And so this idea of duties and obligations is really the basis of communities. It's the basis of the we, not just the I. It's the notion that I owe you owe you the fact that you need to be treated as an end and not just the means. And it's really important for the social aspect is that is the way we grow as people. It is having people take ownership of you in some sense. They own a part of you. They can call on a part of you to be treated as they should be treated, and you should be treated as you should be treated. And so we have the three. We have the historical, we have the personal, and the social aspect of personhood. So why is this important for today? Why do I say that this is really a dynamic idea? Because if you start with the historical and you realize that people, persons, have existed for a long time, and you end with the social that says that there is a piece of you that is missing, imperfect, that people need to call upon, have obligation to own part of you in community. That connects us in a way that is quite profound throughout history. And it connects you not just with the people of your own day, that just create communities for your own day, but creates a historical community that is uninterrupted by time. And so the conversations people were having about the human condition centuries ago is same conversations in some sense we're having the human condition today. The writer Edmund Burke from the 1790s wrote in a way that said this. He said, "Society flourishes not by freeing every generation from those that precede and succeeded, so that it might have direct recourse to permanent principles, but by linking the generations tightly together, so they might form a permanent body." So the notion of personhood is not just something for us personally. It's not just something that's existed historically. And it's not just a social idea, too. It is something that connects us, root and branch, with those who came before us all the way up to this day. And so I'm sure the rock climber was not expecting the idea or the answer of person when he was wandering around kind of mindlessly. But if someone was to tell him that you're a person, that's not a bad place to start by recollecting who you are.